Hello students, welcome you all on Yourpedia panel. So my dear students, this side Mukesh from the CSE faculty, and you know that right now BEL announced 40 vacancies for PE post. In the last video, I did a paper analysis of FTE, fixed tenure engineer post. Based on that, we can say that similar type of pattern you are going to face in your upcoming exam. As Yourpedia is the biggest platform, and from the tomorrow onwards, that is from the Saturday, we are going to start our live classes for this post. Our dedicated batch is already announced, and now we are going to start our live classes. Students already joined our WhatsApp group, which is free of cost. You can also join the WhatsApp group to get the updated information, the content, the document, and all these things. We are providing you test series also, so you can regularly practice and check your preparation of level. So my dear students, if you want to join this dedicated live batch where we are going to cover each and every aspect of this exam, whatever the things required to crack this exam, that is related to maybe technical or non-technical stuff. So both the batches are going to start for technical as well as non-technical from tomorrow, that is from Saturday. So my dear students, I'll provide you a demo. Today we are going to cover total 350, out of that 40 or 42 vacancies are for CSE, right? So today I am going to discuss a topic that is from computer network, and based on the paper analysis, you know that I checked the paper, FTE paper, and where I found almost 13 to 14 marks from computer network only. From data structure and algorithm, in that paper, almost 20 marks. So today I am going to cover a topic that is from computer network, and in this video I am going to cover the basic layer functionalities, the mode of communication, and different topologies, and you will find at least 2 questions from this area. I'll also going to cover some of the MCQ type of questions which you may face in your exam. So let's start with the video. So a computer network is a collection of interconnected devices that communicate and share resources using the communication medium. So what is computer network? Basically, network means collection of nodes which are connected via some medium. Here the word computer means we are mainly talking about the computers. We are mainly talking about the network. We are mainly talking about how a one machine communicate with the other machine. So what is the purpose of computer network? We know that if you want to share some file, then with the help of networking we can share, right? Resource sharing like printer. If you want to give the command to print something, then you have to use printer. So from your computer to our next machine, that is printer, we need to provide a communication. Then to communicate via mail, via video conferencing, all these are the main purpose of computer network. So now mainly we have two protocols. One is TCP IP protocol and one is OSI model. Fine. Now OSI model is totally absolute. That contains 7 layers. Layer by layer, the whole communication is divided into some layers. Fine. So generally we follow TCP/IP protocol. And what is TCP/IP protocol? See, it consists with four main layers. In some of the books you may find 5 layers. And what are these 4 layers? Start with the application layer, then transport layer, then network layer, and the last one is data link layer. In some of the books you may also find one layer that is called physical layer, but right now I am just saying 4 layers. Physical layer is merged in data link layer or link layer. So TCP IP, the full form, keep in mind these full forms whenever you are facing an exam in which it's a one line question problem, it's a theoretical type of questions. In that case, the basic definition, the basic characteristics, the basic properties or the full form are very important. Fine. So TCP IP means transmission control protocol or internet protocol. Fine. So it is a set of communication protocol. What do we mean by protocol? Protocol means rules. It is a set of communications rule used to connect network devices on the internet. So we are talking about internet. It defines how data is divided, what are the addresses, how we can transmit, and how data is routed. Whenever from a source to destination we want to send some data, it is divided into some parts, which route it has to follow and received across network. So here I am talking about TCP IP model has 4 layers, sometimes 5 layers. I already discussed. So application layer. Fine. So if I talk about OSI, I already mentioned that consists with 7 layers. So in that, application layer, presentation layer and session layer are there. But now we merge these 3 applications and make a single layer that is called application layer. And main functionality is user interface and process to process communication. It is used to provide process to process communication. Like process means, suppose that you want to send a file. So you have to use the protocol that is called FTP, file transfer protocol. Fine. In that way, it provides you process to process communication. Second is transport layer. Again in OSI, it is transport layer only, and it provides, so mainly at this layer we are using 2 main protocol which we discuss in our upcoming videos, that is TCP and UDP. They have their own functionality. When to use this one, which one, we are going to discuss in our upcoming lectures, but right now you can just consider it provides you reliable data transfer and flow control. Third layer is network layer. In OSI model also it is considered as network layer only, and the main functionality is providing the IPs and routing things, how packet are moved from one router to another router, how routers forward these packet. So these things are covered in our third layer, that is internet layer. Next, network access or link layer or data link layer. And in OSI, it is data link layer and physical, but the main functionality is physical transmission of data over the network. Fine. Physical transmission means over the wires. Fine. That is the main functionality. So, but the main functionality we are going to discuss for each and every layer one by one now. So let's start with application layer. What is application layer? What is the main functionality? So application layer is the first layer. Fine. So if I talk about top to down approach, it is first layer. Bottom to top, it is the last layer. Fine. So it provides network services directly to the user and applications. We know that the main purpose of application layer is to process communications. Fine. The main functionalities define protocol for data exchange between applications. So it is going to define the protocols, the set of rules. If applications or processes want to communicate, so what type of protocol they have to follow. Suppose that if you want to send a mail, when someone want to send a mail, another person also receive the mail in the mailbox, not on the YouTube. That's why they are following some protocols. Fine. So the main functionality is what type of applications you are going to use, and what respective to that what type of protocol you should use. Fine. So it handle user services like mail, email, web browsing, file transfer, etc. So we are going to use mainly some standard set of applications like HTTP, which are going to use for web browsing purpose. Whenever you are browsing something, internally you use HTTP. Whenever you are writing any domain, first the domain start with either HTTP or HTTPS. HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol, where S stands for with security. Fine. FTP, File Transfer Protocol. Whenever you are going to send a file or receive a file, you are going to use FTP protocol. Next is SMTP, POP, So mainly SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It is used for email services. Next is DNS, Domain Name Resolution. You are writing Google, but Google has its own standard domain or IP. Fine. That is the use of DNS, and one is Telnet, that is used for remote login. That is the basic functionality of that are the basic protocols you are going to use on application layer. Next, the transport layer. The transport layer main purpose is end-to-end communication. Fine, end-to-end communication. Ensure data is delivered correctly and in order. It means transport layer provide end-to-end communications, and it ensure, the most important point in this case is it ensure that your data reached safely, fine, correctly, and that is in order it delivered. The main functionality here is first segmentations. So these functionalities are very important for your exam. In fixed tenure engineer exam, they just mention one functionality and give you the question as which type or which layer provide this functionality. So that is very important. So segmentation, it divide large message into smaller packet. See, at the sender side we are following 4 or with reference 5 layers. At the receiving side again we follow 5 layers. Fine. It is not the case that transport layer is directly send data to the receiver transport layer without using the below layers. No, it is not the case. Fine. That's why, see, what is the segmentations? What is the main purpose of segmentations? Divide large message into smaller message. Suppose that from the application layer you receive a big chunk of data which you have to send. Now it's the responsibility of transport layer to divide the large chunk of data into small segments. Why? Because if you are going to send a large message, then high probability that if single bit is corrupted, then whole message is considered as corrupted and it has to drop out. So that we are dividing, we means transport layer functionality is to divide that large set of data into small chunks called segment. Next, reassembly, combine packet back into original message at the receiver end. Whenever these small segment send or reach to the destination side at the receiver side, then again it's the responsibility of transport layer to reassemble all these segments. And keep in mind, at the starting point, I give you an important point, in order. It means it is not the case that you divide your large message into 4 segments, segment 1, segment 2, segment 3 and segment 4, and now you are sending these segments out of order to the application layer. It is not the case. Fine, you have to send all these segments in order. Keep in mind, that is the functionality provided by transport layer. Next, error detection and correction. Here we are going to use checksum. It is very important. At link layer also we use the CRC, but here we use checksum. And again, this is very important point, at which layer which protocol we used. Next is flow control and congestion control. Congestion control means, suppose that there is a congestion in the network, then it's the responsibility of transport layer to handle these type of situations. And then port addressing. Fine. So the main protocol we are going to use, that is very important, one is TCP and one is UDP, user datagram protocol, and one is TCP, transmission control protocol, where TCP is so reliable, it provides you full accuracy, but UDP is unreliable protocol. Fine. UDP is connectionless protocol, TCP is connection oriented protocol. Let's move on third part, that is internet layer. Now, what is the purpose of internet layer? Some books also refer it as network layer. Either you can call it as internet layer or you can call it as network layer. Fine. It handles the movement of packet across the network using logical address, that is called IP address. Mainly we are going to use two type of address. One is logical or IP address, one is MAC address. And these two addresses are used to communicate. Fine. If I talk about the logical address or IP address, it is very important when you are going to communicate over the network. So in that case, our IP address is very important. We know that whenever you are going to connect with any of the internet, you received one IP. So that is the case. Here main functionalities are logical address, assigning IP address to a devices. Fine. Routing, determine the best path for data to travel. Fragmentation, split large packet fit into frames. So what are these functionalities? See, the functionality, first functionality is it provides the logical address. Fine. But why not MAC address? See, it's a MAC address is a 48-bit address. IP address is a, it has two versions, IPv4 and IPv6. Right now we are going to use IPv4, which is of 32-bit, and we are not going to use MAC address to identify or to communicate. Fine. Now, whenever you are going to connect with the network, you get a IP, and with the help of IP, we identify the destination or the source. Now, the second point is routing. That is very important. It determines the best path for data to travel. It means, suppose we have the different routers. You have the source, we have the destination, in between we have so many routers. So whenever your data reaches to a router has to take a decision to to which router or to which path I have to forward this message. So it is very important. Router has maintained a routing table based on, and it's dynamic in nature. So how much traffic is there, what about the status of the link, all these point consider into the mind, and then the router take a decision that at which particular path I have to forward that particular message. So the main protocol is IP only, fine. So we are talking about these protocol also, but the main is IP. Next is data link layer. Data link layer. Again, it is again the main functionalities: framing, error control, flow control, access control. Flow control means with what speed we can flow the data. Error control means if there is a error, how to detect, how to correct it. Access control means access of the medium, fine. So these are the some functionality, and the first functionality again divide data into frames. Again in the similar way in the segmentations which we discussed in the transport layer, here again we divide our data into small chunks, that is called frame. Physical address, that is called MAC address. Use MAC address for the communication between devices on the same network. That is very important. See, whenever you are going to communicate within the same network, it is MAC address. Over the network, it is IP address. Error detection and medium access. So here the protocols are Ethernet. For our purpose, Ethernet is important. Wi-Fi is not that much important, neither PPP, that is point-to-point protocol. So here is a summary. You can identify, you can see the conclusion is application layer provide the user services. Main protocols are HTTP, FTP, SMTP and DNS. Transport layer mainly two protocol, TCP and UDP. Internet, IP, ICMP, ARP and physical layer or data link layer. Now we are going to discuss about different mode of communications. Different mode of communications means what? Fine. It means whenever two devices are trying to communicate, how they can communicate, what are the different modes. There are mainly three type of mode: simplex, half duplex and full duplex, and they are categorized based on how they are communicating. Either its communication is bidirectional or unidirectional, fine. Now see, different mode of communication in computer network typically falls into the category of transmission modes. We have three mode: simplex, half duplex, full duplex. Now see, the fundamental ways data flow between two devices in a computer network are defined. All these, this is a theory for your purpose. If you just get a simple reading, it's very good for you. Now let's start with the simplex mode. Now see, it is very important. In the simplex mode, communication is strictly unidirectional. It means if we have two devices only one devices can communicate. Second is only for listening purpose. Fine. That's why it is unidirectional. Now see, in the simplex mode communication is strictly unidirectional. That is one way data can flow only in one predetermined direction. Keep in mind the word predetermined, from the sender to the receiver, and the receiver cannot, again very important point, receiver cannot send any feedback or response back to the sender. Now see, whenever you are watching TV, only TV can deliver you the data. You cannot do, you cannot talk to the TV. Fine. Are you getting my point? It's a unidirectional communications. So data flowing unidirectional. Roles are, one device is permanently set as sender, the other is permanently set as receiver. And the channel utilization means, what is the utilization of the channel through which the data is sent? It is completely utilized. Fine, it is totally fully utilized. Now these are the advantages and disadvantages. You can read out, very simple, and in the our live classes we are going to discuss each and everything in detail. Let's go with, these are the real time examples. We already shared this document in our WhatsApp group. So if you want to join, you can just join that WhatsApp group and get this material. The next one is half duplex mode. Again very important. In simplex it is strictly unidirectional. Sender task is to deliver or flow the data. Receiver task only is to receive. It is not able to provide any feedback or any response. But now it is half duplex. Half duplex means either sender can send the data or receiver can send the data, but one at a time. It means if I am talking, I can only talk. In that time you are in the listening positions. Whenever you are talking, I am on the listening state. Fine, I cannot talk at that moment of time. That is the concept of half duplex, or the two-way but one at a time. Fine. So the half duplex allow bidirectional communication, meaning both devices can send and receive data. They cannot do it simultaneously. That's why I mark it as bold. They cannot do simultaneously. When one device is transmitting, the other can only receive, and they must take turns. Data flow bidirectional, alternating one at a time. Fine. Channel utilization. Now see, that is very important. In the simplex mode, because only sender can send the data, it is utilizing the whole, fine, channel capacity. The entire channel capacity is used in a single direction at a time, but the direction switches over time. It means whenever I want to send the data, I am going to use the complete capacity. I am going to use the complete, I am going to utilize the complete channel. When you are going to send, and my state is in that case is listening state, then you are using the whole channel. So these are some advantages and disadvantages and the real time examples. Fine, you can read out. Now the third one is full duplex. We will discuss all these concepts in our live classes, okay, and from the tomorrow onwards we are going to start the live classes. Now third, full duplex. The full duplex mode is the most advanced and efficient mode. It allow, keep in mind, it's very important, it allow for simultaneous bidirectional communication. It's a bidirectional communication, and at the same time, that's the important point, meaning both devices can send and receive data at exact same time. Our mobile phone, whenever you are talking with your parents or your colleague, so both direction, from the both side communication happens. Fine, it's not the case that at one moment of time only one can listen or one can speak. It is not the case. So data flow in simultaneous direction, roles and channel. Fine. So maximum performance is there. That is the important point. Here the real world examples you can see here. Mobile calls are the real world example. So this is the comparisons. You will get straight one line question from these tables also. That's why that's the importance of these in notes. Fine. Now network topology, again one of the important topic, and again you will get at least one question from here only, because so when always keep in mind, my dear students, whenever you are talking about these type of exams, these type of state level exams or JEE exams or fixed tenure or P exams, you are going to get mostly, I can say, the one liner questions. That is theoretical in nature, not the numerical or in-depth concept. Fine, that's why it is so. If you are talking about the gate preparation or other competitive type exams, in that case you have to deep dive into a particular topic, but here we have to cover more and more content. Fine, and we have to cover only the surface level, not in the in-depth level. That's why it's very important to make a proper strategy to clear that exam. Now network topology. Network topology means how these nodes are connected. How these nodes are connected. That is that's called the network topology. Is the arrangement of the elements of a communication network. It describe how devices are physically or logically interconnected. Fine, how these nodes or how these devices are physically or logically connected. Now see, we have mainly four. First one is bus topology. We have bus topology, ring topology, mesh topology, all these are very important. Now bus topology. All devices are connected to a single continuous shared communication line called the backbone or the bus. It means we have a shared line. In that shared line, we have different nodes which are connected with these shared lines. Fine. If like you can say, here we have one node, 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 and this line is called the bus topology, backbone. Fine. Now if you want to, if this station want to send the data to this station, it has to send the data or put the data on this link, and then data is delivered to this node. That is called bus topology. All devices are connected to a single continuous shared communication line called backbone or thus termination. Both end of the shared cable must be terminated with that. This is not important for you. Data flow. Data packets are broadcast. That is very important. Whenever this person or this node want to send the data, it send or it broadcast the data. Broadcast means to all the nodes. Now that packet also reaches here, but they drop out because these data is not for them. Fine. And finally the actual destination receive the data. Wiring require the least amount of cable because we have only one link required. That's the important point. So the bus requires least amount of cables. So in terms of cost, installation, troubleshooting, reliability, performance, this is the total analysis. So minimal cost in terms of cable, minimal required, that's why it's cost effective. It's very simple to install also, fine. So you can read out, very simple. Now the second one is ring topology. In ring topology, they make a ring type structure, fine. And here we have one node, here we have one node, here we have one node, and here we have one node. If suppose that this node want to send data to this one, it has to deliver packet here that move in a circular direction and reach to this particular node. That is the basic fundamental idea. Now see, each device is connected to exactly two other devices forming a single continuous circular path. It means each node is directly connected with two nodes. That's why it make a circular thing. Data flow, data travels sequentially from the node to node in one direction. That is very important. It is not the case that if this station want to send data to this station, the data use the minimal path structure. It is not the case, fine. So, and whenever someone want to send the data, first of all it has to receive the token. So how these tokens are be there, we are not going to deep dive into that topic because that is not the purpose of this exam, fine. If someone asks you token ring is used in which type of topology, ring topology. So required more cable than bus, but then less than mesh topology we are going to discuss next. And now star topology, fine. Again, that is very important, star topology. Star topology, you by the name also, we have something at the center point. Here we have different nodes. Fine. But the problem with the star topology is if this central point is disturbed, then whole communication is disturbed. Fine. If it get damaged, the whole network is damaged. That's the problem with the star topology. Now see, arrangement, all nodes are connected to a central device. This is called the central device, that is hub, switch or router. And this is the core component, okay. Data flow, data is sent from one node to the central device, which is forward the data to the intended destination. That means if this node want to send data to this node, first that data is going to be received by this central device, and this central device forward this data to this particular destination. It is not the broadcast concept which we discuss in bus topology. That is the basic difference. Now here again the analysis in terms of the cost, liability, you can easily get all this stuff, fine. So here I already discussed the central device is a single point of failure. If central device, that is hub, switch or router, if they damage, then whole communication is damaged. Now next one, mesh topology, fine. The next one is mesh topology. Now see, every device, mesh topology means the word suggests mesh. We have one system, second system, third system, fourth system, all are connected with each other. So maximum number of wiring or cables required. Every device is connected to every other devices. That's the key point, fine. So total number of links required. This is the formula, very important, because one node require n minus 1 link. So n require n minus 1 by 2 because it is doubly counted. So this node require, we have total 4 node, this node require 3 cable, fine. Now again this network, this node also require 1, 2 and 3 cable. This network also required 1, 2, 3 cable, this also. But we know that whenever we are talking about this one, we are talking about this one, diagonal one, and this one, which is also the part of one time this one time this one, and one time this one. That's why by 2. Fine. Fine. That's the important point you have to keep in mind. Fine. So the next one is tree topology. That is not that much important. Hybrid is again not that much important. Now let's move on the questions. What is computer network? A collection of unrelated computers? No. A system of interconnected devices sharing data and resources. A system of interconnected devices sharing data and resources? Yes. Only internet connected computers? No. This is not the restrictions for communication or computer network. None of these. So right answer is B. Answer is already provided. Okay. The main purpose of computer network is to play game. No. Share data and resources? Yes. Reduce hardware? Not related to hardware. Increase cost? No. Again, share data and resources. How many layers does the TCP IP model have? 4 layers. With reference 5 layer also if we considered, but generally it is 4 layer only. The application layer of TCP IP correspond to OSI layer. So, see, in OSI layer we have mainly 3 layers: application, presentation, and session layer. All these are merged in TCP IP. That C is the right answer. The main functions of transport layer: segmentation is there, flow and error control is there, right? Routing, it is the network layer. No. Error detection and reliability of data. TCP transport layer having 2 protocol. One is TCP, one is UDP. TCP provide you reliable data transfer. Fine. Encryption, no. So B is the right answer. Which protocol provide reliable connection oriented communications? Now see, reliable connection oriented. UTP is connection less. TCP is connection oriented. That's why TCP. The protocol responsible for logical address, by default IP address. Fine. Which layer defines how data is physically transmitted? Network layer? Yes. Network access layer. Network layer, not the right answer. Network access layer, that is data link layer. Which layer is responsible for routing? Network layer. Internet layer. Which of these is not a protocol of application layer? Now see, TCP, UDP are the protocol of transport layer, but not the application layer. The transport layer divide data into small unit called segment. See, packet we are call it as at network layer or internet layer. Frame is a data link layer. Bits as it as physical layer. So segment is at transport layer. The physical layout of network is called, see now that's very, what is the physical layer? Is the topology. Fine. Now the failure of single cable can crash the entire network. That is, see, the failure of single cable. Now it is talking about cable, not the central devices. If we are talking about central devices, that is related to star. But now physical care means bus topology, because bus topology is like this. If this cable break down, and this cable is called bus. In which topology is each node connected to central hub, that is called star. We know that. So this type of question already asked in the exam. It is not the random questions, keep in mind. The topology with a dedicated link between every pair of node. Mesh. We already discussed. Fine. Which topology is most reliable but expensive? Now see, mesh is most expensive and most reliable also. Why? Because each one is connected directly with the other one. Fine. If one link break, data can transfer with the next indirect path also. That's why. In ring topology, data travel in one direction. Yes, because this is the ring and data transfer in suppose in this direction. Which topology used as a central node? Star. Hybrid, not talking about a combination of two or more topology. Yes, that's why its name is hybrid. So all my dear students, this is the basic demo class for computer network. We covered the computer network definitions, what are the different layers, their functionalities, then topologies and mode of communication, half duplex, full duplex, simplex. So we are going to start our live dedicated classes from Saturday, that is from tomorrow onwards. And if you want to join this batch, please do it fast, don't skip any lectures. We'll provide you test series, we'll provide you documents, we will provide, and the most important is it's like no notes class. You cannot write or make any notes. We will provide you whatever we are discussing or making in the class, writing in the class, we will provide you that document in the form of PDF. So your task is to just listen those things and then keep revising. Also we are providing you almost 2000, I cannot commit on this, but yes, a good number of problem from where you get most of the questions. Thank you so much my dear students at the last. And if you want to join this page, connect to the executive of Yourpedia, and thank you.